let me just say right away that you can go for whatever gacha you want, whoever servant you want, for whatever reason you have. These are just banners and servants that I will be looking out for, as well as banners that I think you guys should consider going after. I won't be showing every single banner that will be coming out next year for FGO NA, so if you want to check them out, I'll put a link in the description and in the comments to the Wiki page that will show you all the banners that will be coming out. Of course, let me know in the comments which servants you're going to be going for next year. Now, you guys already know I'm going to be going after Hokusai right when she comes out for New Year's 2020, mainly because I like her design and I like her character, but also because she's also a very good servant. She's a very good art servant. She can NP spam. She's good in challenges. She's especially good against servants that have the man attribute. She's just a very good servant all around, and I recommend going after her if you need a good foreigner, if you need a good AoE servant, and you need a good art servant. As far as the other servants that are featured in the 2020 New Year's banner, I wouldn't go for Gilgamesh, and that might be surprising to some of you guys because Gilgamesh is going to have another raid up down the road next year in battle in New York, so I would wait for that banner just because there are event CEs there, as well as Queen of Sheba, who you guys might want in that banner that will help you get through the event a lot easier. As far as the other servants that are featured in the 2020 banner, I mean, Melt Lilith is of course a very good alter ego, possibly the best single target alter ego in my opinion, especially with double Scotty. Skatat is of course a very good single target quick lancer as well. Tamamo could always spook you. I don't know why she's in this banner because she's the only one that's not limited, but that's besides the point if you want to go after her, because she does get a reanimation as well as a buff later down the road. So if you don't have her already, then I guess go for her. Especially if you're going to go for Hokusai. If you're going to go for Hokusai but you don't have Tamamo, then that's just counterproductive. So if you're going to go after Hokusai, definitely go after Tamamo then. Musashi doesn't get too many raid ups, so if you want her, then I would say go after her. Same thing with Moriarty. Then there is the Setsubun event, or the Tower event as I like to call it, that will feature Kintoki, Raiko, and Shuten, who are just 3 servants that I really love. I already have Shuten, but I don't have Kintoki or Raiko in my FGO NA account, so I might be going for this banner depending on how many quartz I have after going for Hokusai. It's bad too because Kintoki is gonna get a reanimation as well, so like it's gonna make me really want to go after him, and he doesn't get too many raid ups as well. Same thing with Raiko, so I gotta really plan my gacha rolling out. A couple weeks later, we're gonna get our Valentine's servant Semiramis, who is just an excellent 5-star assassin. I don't have her, but based on what I've seen, based on her skills, based on her noble phantasm, based on what everyone has been saying for a couple of years now, she's a very good servant. So I would say if you need an AoE assassin, especially since she's a buster, so if you have Merlin, you'll be straight. Semiramis is a solid choice as far as AoE assassins. Possibly the best AoE assassin in the game. I don't know if I'm, going too far as to saying that, but she's a very good servant based on what I've seen. Again, I don't know if I'm going after her. Everything from this point forward after Hokusai depends a lot on whether or not I'm going to have the quartz or tickets enough to feel comfortable for going for these servants. This is one of the few rerun banners that I will show in this video because it does feature a new servant with Fujino. This is the Kara no Kyokai rerun event, which will also bring back Shiki Saber, who also doesn't get too many raid ups at all as well. But then we also get, again, Fujino, a 4-star limited archer who's actually not that bad. If you already have Tomoe Gozen, in terms of gameplay, they're kind of the same, but Fujino does have the pierce. But Fujino is still a very fun servant to have. Her animations are nice. If you've watched Kara no Kyokai, then you probably will go after her anyway. Other than that, in terms of gameplay, none of these servants in this banner are that great, but I don't blame you guys for going after this banner. I might go after it anyway because I do like Fujino's design. I do like her character arc in Kara no Kyokai. That and Shiki Saber, I never owned her, so I wouldn't mind owning her. Another rerun banner will be Passion Lip and Kiara, so if you guys want Kiara or want Passion Lip, then I guess go for this banner. But at the same time, as far as Kiara goes, Kiara's gonna have another raid up next year, or the following year I should say, with Kamas. So if you really want Kiara or another Kiara to upgrade her noble phantasm level, then maybe wait for next year because there are a lot of banners for 2020 that I feel like needs more priority. So I'm probably gonna skip out on this banner, even though I would love to NP2 Kiara. I would probably wait till the following year to do that. But I know there's a lot of Passion Lip fans out there, and if you fail to get her with her first raid up, then I guess go for her right now. Then White Day comes along and Proto Arthur comes back, and Proto Arthur actually also gets a costume, so that's nice. That's very tempting for me because, as you guys know, I love the hot guys. I love Gilgamesh. I love Aussies. Why not add on to my collection of hot guys? But at the same time, again, there are a lot of banners and a lot of servants in 2020 that I feel like are gonna be more priority. So if you're gonna go for a Proto Arthur, just know that he's an okay servant. He definitely needs more buffs, even in JP. So like in terms of gameplay, he's not that great. I know most people are going after him because he's beautiful and because of his character, which is fine. Finally, we're gonna get started with the very first first Lost Belt with the Part 1 banner featuring Anastasia, which I know is a fan favorite among the community, as well as Atalanta Altar and Avisbron. Atalanta Altar being a decent 4-star Berserker. Avisbron, to be honest, I don't use him that much, so he might be an okay-ish caster, but he's not limited, so like you guys will probably pull him anyway. Same thing with Atalanta Altar and Anastasia. None of these servants are limited. Speaking from experience, Anastasia spooked me twice in a non-raid up banner, so if you want to skip out on this banner, just know that there's always a chance that she'll spook you. In contrast, the Part 2 banner will feature a limited servant with 5-star rider Ivan the Terrible and story banner servant Antonio Salieri, who is our first and only 3-star Avenger in the game. And even though Ivan the Terrible is our first Lost Belt King, compared to the other Lost Belt Kings that come after him, whether we're talking about Scotty, we're talking about Kin, we're talking about Arjuna Altar, Ivan the Terrible is not that great. In fact, even among the riders, like, he's not that worth it. If you already have Francis Drake, if you already have Iskandar, as AoE 5-star Buster riders go, you don't really need to go after Ivan the Terrible. Ivan the Terrible hits hard. Don't get me wrong, he just recently got an NP buff in JP, so he hits really hard. And he has decent utility with one of his skills being able to take out all the buffs from all the enemies. But I don't know if any of that warrants going after him, because again, if you already have Francis Drake or Iskandar, then you don't really need an AoE 5-star Buster rider. But that's just my opinion. If you guys want to go after him, hey, more power to you. I'm not going to go after him. I'm just going to bring him up because I am tempted to go after this gacha for Antonio Salieri, because again, he is a story banner servant, so it's pretty much impossible to get him unless you go for the story banner, which most of us will probably never do in our lives, or if he has a dedicated raid up just like this one. If there was a #1 reason not to go after Ivan the Terrible, I would say it's because Achilles is going to come out like 2 weeks later after Ivan the Terrible. Achilles is also a 5-star rider, but he's not limited, so there's always a chance of him spooking you. He spooked me in the past, so I don't really know if I'm going to go after him for his first banner. Is naturally a lot better than Ivan the Terrible, so Ivan the Terrible might hit harder for one Noble Phantasm. Achilles, especially with Scotty later on down the road, will be able to spam out his NP and just blow Ivan the Terrible out of the water as far as DPS as the turns go on. You guys already know I hate Chiron, so like I don't use him, so I'm not even going to talk about him. After the Guda Guda rerun, we should be getting the new Guda Guda event with Okata Altar, which I know most of you guys are definitely going to go after her. I'm probably going to go after her because, one, she's a good looking servant, her animations are awesome. Okata is already a popular servant, so when you make an altar version of her, obviously everyone's going to go after her. The biggest downside with her, though, is the fact that she's not that great of a servant. You might look at her skills, you might look at a Noble Phantasm, she is a busted servant, so you might think to yourself, well, on paper, she looks actually pretty good. But in practice, as somebody who owns her, I could tell you, as a matter of fact, she's not that great. Honestly, a very underwhelming servant, despite being a busted servant. I feel like you need to NP2 or even go as far as NP5ing her to get some decent damage out of her. But if we're looking for reliable damage, there are better options out there as far as AoE buster servants go. I'm not saying don't go after her, because again, I might go after her depending on how many quartz, how many tickets I have at that point. All I'm saying is that don't expect anything broken, don't expect an amazing servant, just expect a good looking servant with awesome animations and a great looking NP. But if we're going to be talking about gameplay and how broken and good a servant is, look out for Okata, who is with Okata Altar, because he's actually a limited 3-star assassin. Again, he's a limited 3-star assassin. He's not story gacha, he's not story locked, he's actually limited. Not only that, he's actually a really good servant. He does extra damage, I believe, to humanoid enemies, which is, I think, affects almost every servant in the game. So in terms of being a single target assassin, he's actually really good as far as 3 stars go. So I'd say look out for him, try to NP5 him. Even if you get Okata Altar right away, I would say try to NP5 Okata, because again, he's a really good servant. Right after Okata Altar, we should be getting the summer rerun banner. So if you didn't get Summer Narrow, or you didn't get Maid Altar, or you didn't get really any of the servants from this year's summer banner, just know that there's a rerun, so there's always a chance for you to get them again. I'm probably going to go after Raiko Summer, I'm not going to lie. I'm still kind of if that I didn't get her, but next year, hopefully, I'm going to have enough quartz and enough tickets to try again. Then we should be getting Napoleon for the Lost Belt 2 Part 1 banner. And Napoleon's actually a really good AoE archer, especially since he just got a buff recently in JP. He was already a pretty decent archer. Now he's a really good archer. He's up there with Ishtar, he's up there with Gilgamesh, he's up there with Tesla. So if you need a 5-star AoE archer, he's your man, because his skills are really good. He recently got a buff in JP. He hits a bit harder now. So if you really need a 5-star archer, he's a solid choice. I'm not going after him because I have Gilgamesh, but you know. Then the part 2 banner for Lost Belt is coming out, which is going to feature Sigurd, Bernhild, and Valkyrie. And while Bernhild and Sigurd are really good servants in their own right, like they hit pretty hard, I think the servant that's the most broken in this banner is definitely Valkyrie, especially when Scotty comes out, which is going to be the next banner, by the way. Valkyrie is able to NP spam just as well, if not even more efficiently, than Lancelot Berserker. So if you don't have Lancelot Berserker for whatever reason, but you want to stock up on AoE quicks anyway, I'd say Valkyrie is definitely worth it. In terms of art and just animation and everything, I think Valkyrie is just worth it all around. I'm not going for this banner just because right after we get Scotty herself. And again, if you have Lancelot Berserker, if you manage to get Valkyrie, if you manage to get Achilles, if you already have Dantes, you will be 100% fine when you get Scotty, if you get Scotty actually. As far as NP spamming goes, there's just not a better team than double Scotty Lancelot, double Scotty Dantes, double Scotty Valkyrie, double Scotty Achilles, and all these other AoE quick servants who can generate NP fairly well. But Scotty doesn't only help AoEs, like Jack the Ripper, who's already a very good single target quick servant, as well as Katat and Okata, benefit a lot from Scotty. So I'm pretty sure 99.9% of us are going to be going for Scotty next year, because again, she just changes the meta a lot, especially for quick servants when it comes to farming especially. So I'd say 100% go after her. If you're not going to go for any other banner next year for whatever reason, I would say if you were to pick one, definitely pick Scotty. And as a side note, if you are going after Scotty, I cannot stress this enough. Unless you really like her character and you really love her design and everything about her, don't NP 2+ her. Like, honestly, don't. It's not worth it, because for the most part, you're going to be using her for her skills, not her noble phantasm. There's no point in leveling up her NP unless, like, again, unless you really love her. Then go right ahead, NP level up her. But in terms of gameplay, there is honestly no point in leveling up her NP. I can't stress this enough, because I know there's going to be a lot of people that's going to blow off a lot of money and blow off a lot of their free-to-play quartz or whatever it is just to try to NP level her, but it's just not worth it. And I'm mainly talking to free-to-play players here, because I know the whales will do it anyway. But for those of you guys who are saving hardcore just like me, whether you're free-to-play or a dolphin, just don't try pursuing a higher NP level for her. You only need her at NP 1. I swear to you, I could let you know right now that there's just no point in upgrading her NP. There really isn't. Now, if you do a 10 shot and you manage to get 2 or 3 of her, then congratulations. But again, if you already get her, just stop. Don't be tempted. Just stop at 1 and you'll be fine. Trust me, you'll be fine at 1. And it's difficult too, because right after Scotty comes out for anniversary, we're gonna get our summer banners, which is just gonna feature a whole slew of fan favorites. We're gonna get Summer John, we're gonna get Summer Ibaraki, Summer Ushi, and Summer John's actually really good when it comes to NP spamming as well as an AoE archer. So if you don't want to go for Napoleon and you still need a good 5-star archer, John is a solid choice. Team her up with Tomo, team her up with Narrow Bride post buffs. She's just an amazing servant. Along with the summer banners, we'll also get Dantes, who will be getting a costume along with Caster Gil. So if you get Scotty and you don't have Dantes, probably should go after Dantes, because again, he's very good with Scotty. And then a week later, we will be getting this part 2 summer banner, which will feature Summer BB, Summer MHX, and Summer Meb. Summer Meb is good, MHX is alright, but I think Summer BB is where it's at as far as being very good gameplay wise. And even though Summer BB is an offensive servant, the reason why she's so good, especially when it comes to challenge quests and NP spamming for particular teams, is her 3rd skill. If you guys don't know what her 3rd skill does, it basically locks whatever command cards you have for that turn for 3 turns. So if, let's say, theoretically, your command cards are 3 Jack the Ripper quick cards, 1 BB card, and 1, let's say, Mashu card, for example. You will have those cards for 3 consecutive turns as long as you don't switch out to another servant, or as long as one of your servants don't die. So let's say you use Jack's NP and then you use her quick cards to generate her NP back, potentially. You could theoretically NP spam with Jack for 3 turns just because of BB's 3rd skill. So again, while Summer BB is a decent offensive servant, most people will use her for her 3rd skill when it comes to certain challenge quests, damage trials, and other quests of that nature. So I'd say strictly from a gameplay standpoint, she's 100% worth it. I'm definitely going after her because I don't have her in JP, so I feel like it'd be nice just to have that option. After all that August craziness with the summer banners and with Scotty's over, we are going to be getting Battle in New York featuring Gilgamesh and Queen of Sheba. And again, like I said earlier, if you're going to go after Gilgamesh, in 2020. Wait for this banner just so you could get these event CEs, which are actually pretty decent in terms of what they do, just so you could get through the event a lot faster when it comes to farming. Hopefully I'm going to be able to NP2, maybe NP3 Gilgamesh, depending on how many courts and how many tickets I have. After Battle of New York and after the rerun Halloween event, we will be getting Oniland, which will feature 5-star alter ego Sitanai. And hey, more power to you if you want to go after her because she's a loli, because she's the Ilya face, whatever the reason might be. I'm not going to go after her as much as I do like her design. I feel like after all the summer banners and after Scotty and after Battle of New York, I'm just not going to have anything left to go for Sitanai. And she's honestly not that great of a servant. If we're just going to be honest, if you need a single target alter ego, I would say Melt Lilith is still the better choice as far as single target alter egos go. A little bit after, we should be getting Lost Build 3 with the Part 1 banner featuring 5-star Berserker Zhang Yu, 4-star Saber Lan Ling, and 4-star Lancer Qin Lang Yu. Out of the new servants from the Part 1 banner, I would say Lan Ling is the most worth it as far as gameplay purposes go. He's a pretty good art support servant, and he's basically a better version of Chevalier, depending on how you look at it. And some of you might be thinking, well, Zhang Yu is a quick AoE Berserker, just like Lancelot, so theoretically, can he NP loop just like Lancelot with Double Scotty? And the answer is no. While he might hit harder, he won't be able to NP loop because he has less hit counts with his NP, or any skills with built NP gain or NP gauge up. So if you already have Lancelot, you don't need Zhang Yu at all. Zhang Yu is just pretty much a worse Lancelot in my opinion. As far as broken servants go with Lost Belt 3, I would say wait for the Part 2 banner, which should come out around a week later from the Part 1 banner. It'll feature 4-star Assassin Consort Yu, which I know most people are gonna go after anyway because it's Consort Yu. She looks fucking gorgeous. In terms of gameplay though, she's probably one of the worst 4-star servants in the game. I hate to say it because again, she looks nice, but she's honestly really bad. Just to add some context, Consort Yu is an offensive AoE buster servant, so on paper you might think, well, she's gonna work really well with Double Merlin, right? The thing about her Noble Phantasm is that she takes out her own buffs before dealing damage. So if you were to give her 2 Buster Merlin buffs, she's gonna take those out. And you might be like, well, one of her skills gives her buff removal resistance, and there's other servants out there as well that have buff removal resistance that they could give her. But even if you can theoretically work around her buff removal from her NP, it's just so much work to make her usable to the point that you're just better off bringing somebody else like Semiramis or Cleopatra or any other buster AoE assassin, as opposed to bringing Consort Yu, who again, you're gonna have to work around that buff removal. Now if you want to go after her because she's your waifu and you're into NTR, which is kind of weird, then go right ahead. You're probably gonna pull her anyway because the main draw as far as gameplay reasons for this banner is definitely Shi Huangdi, or Emperor Qin, however you want to call his name. I get these Chinese names mixed up so hard, so I'm just gonna call him the Emperor. The thing about the Emperor is that he's really good when it comes to soloing, he's really good when it comes to stalling, he's really good when it comes to NP spamming, he's really good in arts teams, so he's just an all-around really good servant when it comes to challenge quests, when it comes to just stalling when all else fails. But that doesn't mean he can't dish out damage with his NP, and if you could spam it out as many times as you can, he can hit really hard, especially if you could get him to crit. Jesus, he's a really good servant, and you don't even need him at NP2 or higher. You could just have him at NP1 and you'll be good. That's how good of a servant he is. He's one of the few servants that you only need at NP1, and he's already going to perform really well. I'm definitely going after this banner because I do like him as a character, and again, even though Consort Yu is a bad servant when it comes to gameplay, she still looks nice. I like her character, so might as well. And then we're ending off the year with Amante for the Christmas banner, along with Quetzalcoatl, but Quetzalcoatl is an old servant. Let's focus on Amante. The only thing good about Amante, honestly, is her ass. Everything else about her is kind of meh. She is a quick AoE Lancer, so she does work fairly well with Double Scotty, and she can NP loop given the right circumstances. But if you already have Valkyrie, Amante is basically a worse version of Valkyrie in a 5-star vessel, if that makes any sense. Like, you would think as a 5-star she would be better than Valkyrie, but she's not. Valkyrie is more efficient. Valkyrie is cheaper because she's a 4-star and she's not limited. Not that Bradamante is limited, but you know what I'm saying. It's just rarer to get Bradamante because she is a 5-star, but she doesn't perform as well as Valkyrie when it comes to spamming out her NP. So I'm personally skipping out on her. If I am going to go for this banner, I'm probably going to go after it mainly for Quetzalcoatl and maybe Martha Ruler, because I do like Martha Ruler. But other than that, Bradamante is ass in both the literal and figurative sense. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope I was somewhat informative or somewhat persuasive. And again, guys, I didn't feature all the banners that's going to come out next year, but I just featured the ones that I feel like people should pay attention to and that I'm personally going for and paying attention to myself. And again, I can't stress this enough. Go for whatever servant you want, whether it's for gameplay purposes, design purposes, lore purposes, whatever reason you have to roll for a servant. Hey, that's on you. More power to you. This list is mainly for myself, for people wondering which servants I'm going to be going after and which servants I believe are priorities over the others. So let me know in the comments which servants you're going to be going after. What's your 2020 bucket list, so to speak? And of course, like the video if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it, and of course, subscribe to become a supporting character to me, the main character, because without you guys, I'd be the only character, which would suck. I don't want to be the only character. That would be garbage. So yeah, I'll see you guys in 2020. Bye-bye.